Hello Beans. I just wanted to do a quick video. I've seen a video on YouTube on using AI and a little device to assist with parking meters and cars and paying. And it reminded me of a device that I invented in about 1990, maybe 1993, I'm not sure, based on a UK government initiative to toll motorways, the M25 that goes around London. And at the time, based on this, I had a device that would do that plus about another 7 things. The main function of the device was to stop people speeding in their cars, in all vehicles, and that would work according to zones. For example, like in school zones, it would warn you to bring your speed down to 40 miles an hour, for example. But it's interesting that it's like 35 years ago, nearly 35 years ago, that I had this device. It was also a way to, there was also a way to include navigation for a vehicle. Navigation, speed was the primary, which I envisioned would save a lot of money for insurance companies in the sense of reduction in accidents. So that would lessen the usage and reliance on the emergency services, police, fire and ambulance, of course. But the initiative was shelved by the government. But you can still, I don't know how you would go about this, but you could still check this out if the archives in newspapers are still available. I was listed in the Financial Times as an entity myself against the likes of Sony. I think Sony had teamed up with maybe Saab Cars and Newcastle University or someone like that. There was all these, it was 11 or 12 consortiums, and I was one of them. And I've just seen this device come up on YouTube, and it's interesting that the technology that I was going to use then was quite a straightforward technology in the early 1990s. I was going to utilise the Texas Instruments transponder. At the time, I was a field engineer for a mini systems computer company, or just after. I might have left the company actually, and but because of my training and my awareness, knowledge, I came up with this device. I remember at the time my patent agent was a chap that was working for the Formula One, Williams Formula One team, Frank Williams, and I had 2 weeks to get all my information together as a presentation for the Department of Transport in London. And Nick, I can't remember his surname, based in Berkhamsted or somewhere near Beaconsfield, something like that in the UK. And I had a backer, a patron, a former employer, a very good guy, named David Kendrick. Used to own Kendrick Hire Centres and Haverhill Generators, amongst other things. And they were appalled at the idea of controlling the speed of vehicles. They thought there would be a public outcry. And I reminded them that all it would be was enforcing existing legislation, but without a copper there and a little radar gun or whatever they were using at the time. I'm sure it was around 1990, 1993. But it's interesting to see how just with a basic instruction set and device on a prom and the use of transponders, you could have achieved the same thing that is coming out now with the use of AI and the mechanical device to charge. And my device would have done so much more. It's amazing that they shelve these things when there is so much promise there. And who knows where things would be now. Well, for myself and anyone else involved, had the government chosen to continue and pursue their original objectives. Makes me think about sadly the lack of interest in the system that I've put on various 3 social channels, just the raw concepts, the system as a financial generator, revenue generator, and then working towards a unitary faith approach and a single government, all based on this trust built up through these 3 elements ongoing. And it would have led to a reduction in identity theft, almost wiped that out actually, and also a reduction in credit card fraud and things like that, online fraud. But I haven't been able to get anyone to listen to me. I think sometimes my ideas scare people. Obviously they're quite futuristic. Yeah, I've got other examples, but interesting. Anyway, if this inspires you or you wanted to get in touch, please do. I still have lots of ideas. I've always been an innovator and an ideas person, and would love to. I'm designed with the help of AI. I've used, just to run through some formulas, looking at a new type of airship, which would be particularly graceful and peaceful and visually rewarding, incredibly cheap, with a virtually limitless airtime, without going to ground, controllable in the sense of ascent and descent and direction. Yeah, if anyone's interested in that, I thought it might be good to, go around Uluru and places like that. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone wants to look at doing a device for an aeronautical device, an airship, or the system or anything else, please reach out. 30 odd years ago, how about that? Anyway, love all round beans, enjoy yourselves. I promise not to scare anyone. Thanks.